Good morning, Southern California, AM 1220 KHTS. This is your host, Fred Arnold, on the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. And I'm here with Rikki Allen. Rikki Allen is an entrepreneur, if you will, I'll say that, from Country Antique Fair. Now, I love this. It's a bunch of dealers that get together to sell product. Tell us about Country Antique Fair and where it's at.
Okay. Well, the Country Antique Fair Mall is located, very centrally located in our valley. It is at 21546 Golden Triangle Road, close to Mount Asia, across from the Santa Clarita Lanes. We've been there, as I said, I think 32 years. We have a 12,000 square foot facility that is broken up into approximately 100 stalls. And we have dealers that fill those locations. They sell their product, and we run the store for them. They don't have to do anything aside from bringing in their inventory.
Oh, so they bring in the inventory, and you sell it for them, so
Correct.
They don't have to, if you will, have a person manning or woman-manning the booth.
No, they don't have to man their booths at all.
Right.
We take care of that. We have staff, and we have a wonderful manager and fabulous staff. That's why we're still here.
I always wondered what that was, and I'm going to go check it out.
I think you really
I
ought
was
to.
turning in right there. You've got the Aquatic Center, you've got Mount Asia, you've got all that right there, and that's the building. I'm
Right.
so excited to...
Just don't turn. Just when you go across those railroad tracks, just keep going right into our parking lot. We're right there.
So tell us, what is an antique? What makes an antique? Some people, my parents think I'm an antique.
No.
What does that mean?
No. And generally speaking, an antique is anything that's over 100 years old. It doesn't have to be exactly 100 years old or older than 100. I'll give you an example. There's a product out there called that's called Nippon, and this was a porcelain that was manufactured between 1891 and 1921. Well, we would consider that item an antique, but some of it isn't going to fit into the 100-year-old mark, but most of it does. So, yeah, that would probably qualify as an antique. Something that's 50 years old is really going to be considered vintage. Something
Vintage.
25 years old, like a car, would be a classic.
I think I just want to stay 25 years old, because then I can always stay a classic, and everyone's
always
that
stay a
right?
classic.
Versus vintage.
Well, but then you could be a classic gremlin, and you know, maybe that wouldn't.
Yeah.
They're over 25 years old, but
Sure.
nobody would deem them necessarily a classic.
Tell us some of the products or things that are different or unique in your stores that you've seen over the years that really, God, that's special.
Oh gosh. It would be hard to even identify something like that. I mean, we've had everything in that store from time to time.
Right.
And when we're not just, we're not a store that would be like an antique store in Pasadena. We're much more eclectic, and we have things that range from, a couple of 100 years old up until maybe 10 years ago. Because we don't just deal in antiques, we deal in antiques and collectibles and mostly vintage items.
Well, you mentioned something interesting, collectible. What is a collectible? What makes a collectible in most cases? What have you seen collectible? I know we have collectibles for the holidays and the little homes we get and we put out.
Well, okay, if you're collecting something like that, then yes, that's a collectible. A collectible is anything that somebody wants to turn into a collectible. You can collect anything you want. You won't necessarily find it at our store, but you might, probably would. Beanie Babies became a collectible.
That's
right. There was the Pet Rock for a while.
And baseball cards.
Oh, absolutely.
Sports cards.
They're one of the first. Or one of the first that we probably remember.
Right.
People have been collecting forever, and that's why when you go into certain homes, you will see collections that are extremely old, and stuff that may have been passed down from family member to family member.
Generation to generation, good stuff. Again, tell us where the location is so that we can. I'm very interested in going and seeing what excitement and what different things you have in your fair.
We're located at 21546 Golden Triangle Road in Saugus, or in Santa Clarita if you prefer. And same location for 32 years. So most everybody out there kind of knows where we are. They've driven by and said, I need to stop there one day. Well, make it today.
Yeah, love it. And hours of operation?
10 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 days a week, with the exception of a few holidays.
Well, I want to thank you. I want to thank you also for being a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I think that's important that we support our local chamber, we support our local businesses. And those of you listening out there or watching it this on podcast or video cast, go see it and support your local businesses because they're here to bring business here, bring jobs here, and you're doing that. So thank you very much.
And thank you for having me.
Rikki Allen. Rikki Allen is with Country Antique Fair there on Golden Triangle Circle. Did I get that right?
No, Golden Triangle Road.
Road. Thank you very much. You've been listening to and watching this version of the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight on AM 1220 KHTS.